Hi, everyone, and welcome to Bad Bleeps of the Bible. Just a reiteration of the housekeeping from the last episode is that there is now a brand spanking new TikTok for Bad Bleeps of the Bible. So be sure to check that out. Those are those little mini, mini-sodes of the greater podcast episode that's coming out that week. So we have everything from Cain and Abel to the most recent Witch of Endor. So do go to TikTok and find Bad Bleeps of the Bible and hit that subscribe, like some videos. That would be great. Also, again, I have a lot of people reaching out, letting me know that this podcast is stirring all those church trauma memories. So if you have one that you want to share, do it. You can email me at badbleepsofthebible@gmail.com. Again, I really would love to put together a bit of a listener tale or, I guess, religious tale mini-sode if there are enough stories. So do send them in. And that's it. Let's get into today's bleep. The story that I'm going to tell you today is actually told 3 times in 3 different books in the New Testament. Remember, New Testament, AD, during the time of Christ, and after. Again, the New Testament was written mostly by Paul, but also includes books written by their named authors, such as Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, all of those, Peter. The 3 apostles that I listed, Matthew, Mark, and I believe Luke, we're just going to double check that, wrote this story in their own books and in their own tellings. But I'm telling you specifically the version of the story that comes from Mark, just because it's the more dramatic and the more fleshed out version of that story. So we're going to get into it. Demons. What comes to your mind when I say that word? Maybe it's a movie like Annabelle or The Nun, or maybe it's like a pop recording artist like Doja Cat. Who knows? But did you know that one of the most famous demons throughout history actually comes from the Bible? And we're telling his, or I guess their, story today in this, our 4th Halloween-esque episode. Today's bleep is Legion, for we are many. This story from the New Testament starts, as most stories do with the New Testament, with Jesus. Jesus and his disciples had just crossed the Sea of Galilee on their way to Gerasenes, when, as soon as they step off the boat, they're greeted by a guttural murmuring, and what can only be described physically as a man dripping in broken chains who had literally just come from the tombs of the dead to meet Jesus. In fact, the Bible describes him as a man with an impure spirit who had often been chained hand and foot, but had torn the chains apart and had broken the irons on his feet. And there was no one strong enough to subdue him. This man truly was going through it, since he's further described in the Bible as night and day living amongst the tombs in the hills, crying out and cutting himself with stones because of his torment. So we have this bloody, broken, chained vagabond running to Jesus, who had literally just stepped foot onto dry land. And he runs to Jesus crying out, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." And Jesus knew something was up, though, since he didn't say good morning, and he didn't even say what is happening, what is going on. He looks directly at this man. Jesus looks directly at this man and cries, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." That's right. We are literally getting right into it from the top of this story. He's speaking directly to the demon within the man. Not just any demon, though. One of the most infamous in the Bible. And Jesus' next question to said demon introduces the demon to us. Jesus asks, "What is your name?" And the man responds in his demonic voice, "My name is Legion, for we are many." But clearly he's scared of Jesus, because he then proceeds to beg Jesus not to send him out of his/their human vessel, this man. In fact, said demon asks, if they must be cast out, please send them among a large herd of pigs that were minding their business feeding nearby. And the Bible says that there were these pigs numbered about 2,000, which is nuts if I just picture that. But that's also a digression. So the demon responds saying, please don't cast us out. But if you do cast us out, send us into these pigs. Jesus, in what appears to be an act of benevolence to said demon, obliges and performs an exorcism and casts out legion from the man and into these 2,000 pigs. So I guess we're to know that then there were at least 2,000 demons possessing this guy. Truly legion. And this story doesn't wind up well for the pigs because in the very next moment after their demonic possession, the pigs rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. Obviously, this whole scene was drama in the town and it was spread throughout the city. But rather than being thankful that Jesus had not only rid the town of their local demonically possessed boogeyman, who, when they arrived to the scene of the drama, was literally sitting there dressed and in his right mind. Rather, the town members were afraid of Jesus. So afraid, in fact, that the people pleaded that Jesus get out of town, afraid of the power that Jesus held. And Jesus obliges. He does just that, gets back into said boat, which he had just arrived on, but not before being approached by the formerly possessed man who begs Jesus to allow him to become one of his acolytes. Our main man, Jesus, though, says no and says, go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you and cast out legion from within you. And the previously possessed man does just that, since the text writes that the man went away and began to tell how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. And that's it. A super quick little Halloween-y demon story from the Bible, which really only encompasses about 10 verses in the entire Bible. But truly introduces us to such a powerful demon that has been immortalized throughout history. And as a fun little fact, I'd love to close with these. The use of the name Legion by Mark, the author, may actually have been just a useful little stylistic device rather than an actual fact. Because obviously Legion, sure, is the name of the demon. But Mark, and with Mark, could well have expected readers to associate the name Legion with the Roman name for the military formation, which was strongly active during the time of Jesus, so around 70 AD. And by telling the story of Jesus casting out the demon Legion, he may be showing that Jesus is actually stronger than the occupying force of the Romans during that time and was going to cast them out metaphorically. So in this sense, he's not only telling an interesting story, but more so, he's under the radar spreading the idea that Jesus is more powerful than the Roman army at the time. Super sneaky. And that's our infamous, semi-creepy, but always weird and wonderful bleep, Legion, for we are many. I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Please feel free to get in touch with me and share your thoughts and church trauma stories at badbleepsofthebible@gmail.com. And be sure to check us out on Instagram and our TikTok at badbleepsofthebible. Sources for today's story can be found in our show notes, and please continue to rate, review, and subscribe. My goal truly is to read each and every review, so make sure you throw those in there. Catch you next time, and watch out for herds of demon-possessed pigs. Bye.